still be mental health advocate. I was like, yeah, I need to go on social media. I need to check on my friends. I can read online and everything like that. So that is also that downside of it. But if you look at it from the presentation that we've got today, is that kusoma, we don't read anymore. Yeah? Just getting that book, you buy so many books, and then you keep them and say, this year's resolution is to read 5 books. But do we even read them? Do we read them? We don't want to read. Yeah? Or you get these books that Kindle, Google Books, and all these books that are also online. But do we even read? And at times we say, likes I get on Twitter, on whatever I post, will show that she used to sell clothes. So somebody advised her, if you want to, and things like that. So she opened an Instagram account and a Facebook account, but she was using an Instagram account mostly. And then they linked her closely with verses. Was also on, but everybody wants to see you in that flawless face whereby you don't show you're so famous, getting all these likes because of the way you look. And after that, you start being depressed. Issues of anxiety start showing up. Before you go to bed, this is me. I'm talking from my own experience. I'm a culprit, whereby the first thing I do when I wake up, because I work for that international organization, I look at my emails on phone, which is a very bad thing. Before I go to bed, and I just begin to realize that I'm so late, I'm so lazy. I need posting anybody. It gets to that point whereby you also want to watch TV, and the movies. You want to be, I watch this, so that when there are all those conversations about movies and the series, the latest series, you're part of those conversations. But you realize at the end of it all, you become so lonely. You don't even have friends because you don't have time for friends. You don't do things that you like. For example, I used to like going out in nature. But then I'm like, 5 series. I have that target. I wish I had that target to read all those books. But I came to realize this. Having also a background in psychology, we always say that you tell people what you don't do. You tell, you need to do this, you need to do this, but you yourself, you're not practicing that. So for me, that is something, a realization that I've come to realize. And it's good that I'm able to realize that, to change those things, to do things that I like, going out for nature, to connect with people, real people, not a phone or technology in between it. So that we start, issues of depression might even go down. Issues of anxiety, thinking about how many people like me, I need to fit into this system that is there, might even reduce, and things like that. So that is what I've been doing for myself, and I hope it might work out for me, as much as I keep people that you need to change your lifestyle so that you're mentally healthy. And thank you very much.
Not even Sawa. Mildred.
Yes.
And please be brief. I would like all of us to get a chance to speak.
I work in the news. It's what gets me my daily bread and many other young people. So
looking at the other technology that has produced foods that also have a bearing on our mental health. Yeah, so that's another thing I'm also looking at, that we can also utilize. We can look at our technology as producing us with good foods that can help us boost our mental health, and also the other way. The converse is also true, that our eating habits and the things that we are consuming also affecting our brains. So that is also another effect of technology on our mental health.
Yeah, sure. So maybe Fahed?
Yeah,
I see you're thinking of speaking, thinking not. You're welcome.
I'm not sure what to talk about, but I'm sure there's a lot you can be shared with us. But my question is about mental health. Can somebody please tell us how we can solve that problem, because I think everybody has a problem with mental health, but I don't hear anyone speaking of a solution to it. We are only talking about the negatives that are already there. So, for instance, for somebody who has anxiety, not that much of it, but I think everybody here could be having anxiety. So, what are the healthy things that we need to do? Workable things. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yvonne, you'd like to respond?
Yeah, about that. So when we talk about mental health, it's such a big conversation and people tend to confuse. You might have depression, or you might have PTSD, or you might be bipolar, but you're mentally healthy. As long as you're able to cope with the challenges, the daily challenges of your life, and you're able to realize your potential. So that means that you're still healthy. But of course, the illness side is there. And then when you talk about anxiety, so as a human being, you have emotions, right? You should be sad, you should be angry, you should be happy, you should feel scared and all that. That should be there. If it's not there, then you're not even healthy, right? But then when it goes from anxiety to anxiety disorder, and a disorder whereby it's frequent. It's not just, at times somebody you're sad and then you start saying, oh yeah, I'm depressed, or something happens and then you're like, I'm not doing so well, I have an anxiety disorder. That is not the case. It has to be intense for a period of at least more than even 2 weeks. It has to be really also frequent and things like that. That is when you say that you're not mentally healthy. Because because as a human being, we all go through sort of like we always call it a pyramid. One by one, you have no distress, and then you get distress whereby you start feeling sad, and then it gets to a problem, whereby you start, when you start breathing and all those, you start withdrawing a bit from things that you want to do, and then it goes to mental illness. Very few people wako kwa that top of pyramid and things like that. Yes, you can go to nature, yes, and things like that. But we also have to remember that what works for one person does not work for the other person. You identify what works for you. When let's say if you're told you should exercise, but you don't like to exercise, you want to go to nature, or you want to be with friends, and yet somebody is telling you should exercise. You should find what really works for you so that you do that. But there are so many things that exercise could be one of. I just want to be with you guys. You're my friends. We talk about issues. That is my way of getting through that. So it's not one thing that fits it all. And how I'll also look at it is that let us also start talking about the conversations that contribute to, especially for young people, to have poor mental health outcomes. For example, we are having pressures in schools of getting good grades. You want to please your parents. You want to fit in. Those are the conversations that we should also have so that we don't.
So maybe we can start with you.
My name is Julie. Okay, my most
and climate change. That is the theme. And we work with Welcome Womanhood, Kenya. We advocate for ending poverty, education, and women empowerment in Kenya. Basically, we're in Nyeri. We are going to spread to other counties. That's where we run the program. Yeah. And I'm glad to be here.
Now, let me say, for the event that was supposed to be on Saturday, we felt very disappointed that we
Yeah.
So she traveled all the way from to come for the Saturday event, and then to go ahead. Then she very. But again, she was committed to make sure that she came to this one. Again, she traveled for it, and I haven't seen that kind of movement. So we are glad to have you here, and we hope this becomes productive for you and for everyone of us. So we will continue to speak up and share our ideas. So anyone who would like to go next is free to do so now.
Could I please just add some?
Yeah, feel free.
Because I'm passionate about SDG 17. I've just had the gentleman speaking about his organization. So one way is just to connect with organizations which are already doing something about mental health, so that you just plug in.
Would you like to introduce yourself? You can tell us your name and company and what you do. My name is Sayed Kumum. I'm the National Defense from Tanzania. The SDG 5. I'm sure you'd like to tell about it. Pamela,
Yeah,
for you to again
I can say something. I've not had as
I know
a
you have a lot.
comment yet. Comment about mental health and the relation to spirituality. Most of the times, especially so highly confused or maybe say it's spiritually, connected. And also they look at the traditions that we can go about it by creating awareness also in our home areas, in the rural areas where people are not aware of the mental health. Yeah, it's a very key concern. Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe I can share how mental health is really affecting most of the other SDGs that we aim to achieve. We had an instance, July. We visited a home. There's a mom, and she has triplets, two boys, one boy, and she was mentally ill. The community neglects and secludes them. It's in the center of the Kikuyu people say, alitoka na shida yake huko kwao. Maybe she never performed a certain ritual. Then because she's not stable, the kids do not even okay. It's only that we came in as a program to help the kids to get enrolled to school. They were not enrolled to school, and they're 7 years. So what they do, they roam around the town, which it raises more risk like drugs, rape, and stuff like that. So for me, mental health impacts on so many things, because when you're not mentally stable, you cannot go to work, and what you find, you cannot even be able to manage the amount of money that you have. Your kids cannot get enrolled to school. Food is a struggle. um, on okay, that is on poverty. You can't act normally how you're expected to act. So on partnering with people who like us, the youth, we need to speak about it and be very much vocal, because we not get to achieve the 2030 vision if mental health is there.
Thank you so much for sharing. We can hear from you.
I just coming. My name is Sana from Positive and Women Voices. And you just asked if men should be things that even his friends were not like giving him that attention he needed, like to listen to him, like just a shoulder to cry on to. He wasn't receiving that. And according to him, when I drew close to him and I asked him what was in business, in family, in everything that he like decides to do is going backwards. So it was really, or rather, it is really affecting him to an extent. He feels nobody is willing to listen. So he goes online to like these apps, these dating sites, and he's just looking for someone to listen to him. So if this man, he's 30 something and above, is on dating apps looking for someone to just listen to him, then there is a lot that men out there are missing out on, because everybody, every organization is central trying to listen to women and girls and not men. That is why tunakuta men are hanging themselves huku Karura wanabongwa. Why? Because nobody is willing to listen. Because if you tell a man, by the way, my wife did this and that, listen, because they are the first wako kwa ile front line ya kumdis and tell him, you, your wife amekukalia, you, your family imekukalia, you feel as it says there by.
Thank you so much for sharing. Asante sana. Unaweza sema na lugha gani nyingine? Olive. Sauti yako haifiki huku. Unaweza simama?
I try to project my voice.
Sawa.
Sana and everyone who's in the room. There's this narrative that we have shifted. Everyone is shifting from women to the boyfriend or from the girl. And people think that women and girls have been on the forefront. Or when you look at KCSE results in Madame Luanali, when you look at the parliament we just had recently, I don't know how many women MCAs or women representatives. When you look at the mental status of both women and girls, of men and women, the women seem to be a bit more stable. But I believe this is just, if I can put it back, if you
Michael here, and I work for the community. I just wanted to comment something where I don't know how